What's going on, guys? Welcome to the video right here. Right now, obviously, it's not just me, it's also one of my clients here, Hunter. Basically going to be running down an interview, just, explaining a little bit about his story, a little bit, again, about our mentorship and how Hunter literally went from making $0 a month all the way up to $20,000 a month as an online fitness coach, and now being on track to hit his first $50,000 a month. So, break it away right here. Hunter, just give like a quick little, brief story about yourself, just where you were before and where you are now.
All right, sure. So just basically what I did to get to this point?
Yeah, just a little background on yourself.
I was like,
who you are.
Sure, yeah. So, first off, my name's Hunter, right? Before I started doing this entire, social media and online coaching thing, I had been posting on social media for about a year, and didn't get very much traction. Obviously, typically that's how it goes in the very beginning. And after about a year of posting, I decided, I haven't seen very much progress with it, as well as the online coaching, like making money. Like, I have no idea what I actually need to do to make money. And I was posting fitness content, calisthenics content, and one day, I was on Instagram and I saw one of Josh's videos, and after seeing just one of his videos, I didn't even click onto his page and look through anything else. I saw one video and I was convinced that I needed to at least talk to him to see, if he could genuinely help me with this coaching thing. But I booked in a call. We had a good call. It was pretty smooth. He was able to answer all of my questions. I felt good about working with him, and so decided just right there to go with it and join the program. And from there, things took off. Josh's advice and his training, his coaching on what to post, how to post, all the way to the sales process, and even how to take care of the clients that I was receiving, the pricing, and just everything in between. Doing all of that, taking me from zero background and knowledge of online coaching to where I am now 4 months later, with 20K month under my belt, and like you said, looking to hit 50K this month. So
sweet. So yeah, now that that's kind of out the way, who Hunter, or I guess what he's achieved up until this point, basically I want to know a little bit more about like your story. Obviously I know a little bit more than just like the world knows right now, but we'll get into like more so like the person that you are, because again, we always know that it's not always the program that makes people so successful. It's usually the person that makes the program so successful for them. Mm-hmm. So in your case, what was like your, I guess, you're 22, you're about to be 23 next month, but as a 22-year-old, what was like life like growing up for you? I would say more like past 5 years-ish.
Past 5 years, yeah, I would say the past 5 years have been like the most important so far in my life. So that's a good place to start, because 5 years ago, what was I, about 17? Yeah, 17, 18, because I'm turning 23. So when I turned 18, I was actually going into high school. So I was pretty late.
But you went into high school at 18?
Mm-hmm. I turned 18 in July, and then, not high school, senior year.
Senior year. I was going to say, I was like, what?
No, that's my fault. But it was senior year. I went into my senior year at 18, so I was kind of old. And there wasn't anything too special about my senior year. I was a basketball player.
Yeah.
And played on my high school team, and so I was always a pretty like hard-working person. Like I always wanted to be the best at what I was good at, and at the time it was basketball, right?
Yeah.
And that year was actually pretty important to me, because during my senior year of basketball, halfway through that year, I hurt my ankle, fractured it, and was out for the rest of the season. And you always think to yourself like, oh, that's never gonna be me. I'm never gonna be the person to get hurt. But of course, it happened, and it happened in the end. And so my dreams of, potentially professional basketball, overseas, or even playing, like, I wasn't even looking for D1, D2, like, even D3, you know? I was willing to go play anywhere, as long as I got to play basketball, just because I loved it. And I knew that with my work ethic, I would eventually be able to, climb the ladder and get into a decent league, right? Yeah. But dreams were shattered, ankle gone. And after that, I mean, that was also like COVID year as well, right? So everyone's kind of like lazier and stuff. After that, couldn't play basketball. I just got, I would say I got pretty lazy after that. And so senior year ended and I didn't have much direction, but I was actually planning on serving a mission for my church.
Yeah.
And so I decided, you know what, I'm going to go do that, come back home, and then I'll figure everything out. So I went, served a mission for my church 2 years in Singapore and Malaysia. No social media, no, like we have phones, but just to, stay in contact with people. And so no social media or anything, like the outside world, like you don't really, know much about it anymore, right?
Yeah.
You're totally out of the loop. So it's interesting. When I got home, 2 years completely finished, I got home and I re-download TikTok.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm on TikTok for the first time in years. And I'm just, scrolling, seeing what's new with the world. And this video of, this guy's name's Leo Wang. And Leo Wang, he's a master at muscle ups. And I'm just watching him do these muscle ups, but they're not like regular muscle ups where you like get on the bar and then push yourself up. Like he's ripping himself, up into there. Like it was just incredible to see. And like the first thought that I have when I see him doing this was like, wow, that is just the craziest thing ever. And the second thought, like following it immediately, was just like, wow, I'm going to be able to do that. Like 100%, I want to be able to do that.
Yeah, I think that thought right there, I feel like a lot of successful people have that same thought. Like if they see something, they want to do it, they automatically in their head, like, I want to do that, but like I'm going to do that.
Right.
I think that's a very common trait.
It's like a lot of people have, limiting beliefs, but for me, there was like, with calisthenics, there was zero limiting belief there. It was just, 100% I'm going to be able to do that from the very beginning.
Yeah.
And so I started training immediately, kind of self-taught a lot of it, watch YouTube videos, watch TikTok and Instagram. And I mean, it works to an extent. Like I got good really fast on my own, right? But there's a point in time where it's like, okay, if you don't receive professional help for something like this, then you're not going to make it very far. You're going to get injured. And that's what happened is I got injured.
Yeah.
Hurt my elbow, after just a few months in, was out for 4 months. And from that point, it was like, okay, I need to hire a coach. I need to, make sure that I'm on the right track for this. And so I hired a coach. I had a very good mindset about it. Like, okay, I'm going to take advantage of, this situation and just work my very hardest. Everything he tells me to do, I'm going to do. And after working with him for, it was about 6 months, I went from pretty like beginner, maybe intermediate, to like advanced skills, working on some of like the more elite stuff.
Yeah.
Fast, like not very many people do that.
Yeah.
As fast as me. And I think working with him, and just like the mindset that I had always had since I was younger, of like, I enjoy being the best and I always want to be the best at what I do. Just because, that's just kind of who I am.
Yeah.
Taking that, starting, and then working with you soon after, all of, learning this calisthenics and posting, I think that mindset really helped me to get to where I am as quickly as I did. Yeah.
Because, like we were saying earlier too, like, there's many people in the program, but like, it's not like people are like at your level yet, like you're like what we call like the golden boy, and like Hunter, if he's seeing success this fast inside of my like mentorship, and then if he's also seeing his success in his calisthenics coaching program that he was in, it kind of like is, I mean, it's kind of out there. It's like, okay, does take the person, right? Because it's not like he was slow in calisthenics and excelled fast in mentorship. You excelled fast in both. So then it comes down to, again, like your personality traits and like, you know, the habits. Because again, the reason why we put so much free information out there is just so, again, everyone can have the free information so they know how to do it.
Right.
It really comes down to just becoming the person to do it, right?
Right.
And a lot of people just need to, it sounds bad, but need to invest for them to get their ass off their, you know, seats and actually do something.
Yeah.
But for you, obviously you joined like January-ish, but like kind of like actually started February. But that like 2 months before joining, or I guess talk about like when you started seeing fitness coaching on your feed to when you were like, okay, like I'm gonna start.
Yeah, I mean, I was seeing stuff on my feed. Like, it wasn't, like, frequent.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't, like, liking it and getting just that kind of content on my feed. But I would see something about online fitness coaching, you know, probably at least once a week for a few months up to that point. Mm-hmm. And I always, you know, it's always the videos of someone's like, you know, can you make $10,000 in a month doing online fitness coaching? You see that and you're like, there's no way. You know? There's no way you can do that. Or if you can, it's the top 1%.
Yeah.
Right. And that's your thoughts on it. And so I guess a couple months up to the point where I saw your video and just, you know, spontaneously, it was a spontaneous decision, but it was a build up as well of just, you know, seeing these videos, already kind of wanting that. And so just up to that point, I mean, in my head, it was like, well, what am I going to do for the rest of my life? You know, like I work in sales at the time, you know, I knock doors, I go door to door just in the summer. After the summer, like the off season, you know, I'm recruiting people. And so I'm into sales. I understand that sales will be, you know, very good for me in the future. I just don't know where I'm going to take it. I understood that, you know, sales will kind of, you know, get me out the matrix, you know, right? I don't have to work that 9 to 5 anymore, but it's still vigorous. I mean, in the summers, you're working way more than 9 to 5.
Yeah.
You know? And so I guess up to that point, it's just like, okay, I'm doing sales, but what am I going to do for the rest of my life? I love social media, like posting, and I love calisthenics, obviously, and fitness, and then I love helping people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so when I finally saw your videos, like, you know what, this could be, you know, maybe it isn't just the top 1%. If there are so many coaches out there, like mentors, and there's not like a ton, but if there's a good amount of mentors out there like you, and you're being successful, and you have people working under you, you know, who are being successful and seeing real results, then like, and it has to work. Right. Yeah. And I know that, again, I want to be the best, you know, when it comes to anything that I do. So if I'm going to get help from you, then why can't I be the best with proper help, right?
Because I remember when you joined, it was like, you joined when my mentorship was like almost like 1 month new. So like, I didn't have too many results. It was only like a couple clients getting like $1,000 payment. So it was nothing crazy. I'm curious, what made you, maybe it was the one video that you saw, which we still don't know what it is. I need to find out what that video is. Well, what do you think it was that made you honestly like choose me? Just because at the time I didn't have many results.
Honestly, it was you were real with, like, you know, the audience and at the time me, right? It just felt very natural. It felt real. It felt genuine. And I don't remember much about the video. I just remember that I thought it was an ad, even though you weren't running ads at the time. So I thought it was an ad, but you were talking about, I mean, obviously you were talking about fitness coaching, and I think that just the fact that you were talking about fitness coaching and you didn't seem like a lot of the other people that like feel like everything's scripted and they're like robotic with it, you seemed real. So I was like, okay, this is a real person. I can work with this guy, you know?
Gotcha. Do you think it was being Asian? I swear, because a lot of the clients joined and say it's because I'm Asian.
That's so funny. No, I remember you actually asked me that. You asked me something like that. I can't, somewhere down the line, you're like, did you join because, you know, maybe it's because I'm Asian and you're also Asian? And I'm like, no, I don't think that was it. Yeah.
Surprising, yeah. Because I remember even like our sales call, I like briefly remember because I've been on so many calls since then. But I remember our sales call. Like every time I hop on a call with someone who works in sales, it's always like I'm like, oh yes. Yeah. Or like has a coaching business, it's like, oh yes.
Yeah.
Because when it comes to objection handling, I'll always just lay it out there. Like, bro, we both work in sales. Like, what are your objections?
Yeah.
You know? It's like the easiest thing ever. So like I remember our call. Like your only objection was like there was none. Like the self-belief aspect was all conquered. So you had no fears. And so it really just came down to you having that. Well, it was 3 months before you had to go back to
summer sales, right.
So then your only objection was, I mean, it's the only way I can pay for 3 months. And I remember I was just like, yeah, but I mean, like 3 months, I can't guarantee, see the best results.
Right.
But I guess that urgency or that, 3 months really made you, I guess, work harder than the average person and I guess see success faster.
Yeah.
But no, the month leading up to it, I don't know how much detail we can get into it, but like what do you think were like the pain points that you had before like joining? Like the thoughts, like things that you didn't like about your life, like the month before you joining.
I mean, honestly, around that time, like, probably what I was thinking about the most was, like leading up to that point, there was this girl that I was talking to and things didn't go super well with that. And so like at that time, it's just like, oh man, like maybe, I feel like I'm a good person, I'm a likable person, all these things. It's like, okay, well, what's wrong with me? Maybe it's just because I don't have enough direction in my life, or I wouldn't necessarily say it was the money, but maybe it was just like direction. I didn't have very much direction, and that was like the worst. And so it wasn't about getting girls.
Yeah.
It was mainly about like, I guess, getting to the point in my life where I just felt like, wow, things are happening now. Yeah. I'm not kind of just like stuck where I am. Like a lot of people that come to you, I feel like work a 9 to 5, right?
Yeah.
And those people probably feel the same way, where it's like they just feel kind of stuck where they're at in life. And that's kind of where I was. I was not going to school, and I was supposed to be going to school at that time. I was just sitting, in my apartment every single day. I'd go work out, film my videos, and I'd do nothing. Or I'd hang out with my friends sometimes, right? So I kind of just felt stuck, and that feeling didn't feel very great. So that's probably one of the main things that like main pain points was that feeling, and then you helped me understand that there's a lot of freedom with online fitness coaching.
Yeah, because life now for you, like what's life like now for you? By the way, Hunter he's like more famous than me, he has 270,000 followers now.
Yeah.
Like what's life like now, honestly?
Well, I mean, a lot of people think that, once I get like all these followers, I'm gonna feel so good and be so happy and feel famous. I mean, I feel the exact same, and I don't feel different at all. Now, in terms of what my life looks like, that definitely is a little bit different. It's still a grind, because I love it. I enjoy, grinding, working hard on this business. I enjoy, again, taking care of people, like the clients that I have currently and getting them results. Like that's all fun to me. Like the difference between my old sales job, which I was good at, I made good money at, and my other 9 to 5s when I was younger, and this job is that I love this job. I could do this for free. Yeah. Because do you notice, I said this, there's this saying, and it goes around all the time. It's like, when you focus on making the money too hard, you honestly just make less money, you attract worse clients, and like you kind of hate your life. But the people that I see like always do the best in this kind of coaching industry are the people that see or like genuinely love what they do. And it's like you'll see like our group calls, like I'll run them, like I've had group calls that run 7 hours long. Just because like I'm just on the call. But like I feel like most people that genuinely love helping people, that want to do this for the rest of their life, that could do it for free, will do it, like, and see the most success. Do you feel like for you, just because you've obviously seen a lot of our clients as well, but what do you feel like is the difference between you and like our clients that aren't as successful? Because I'll keep it straight up, like not everybody that joins has Hunter's results. Like he's like a golden boy, like it's a rare case. But again,
there are certain things you can take from Hunter or like take from you like personality traits and habits that like again you can replicate to others to see the same success. So like if someone was watching this, maybe it's one of our clients right now, or maybe it's someone who's potentially wanting to join. What's something that you would want to tell them that they need to solve like mentally or like make a habit for them to see the the most success?
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, the biggest difference is honestly, and I believe this fully, is just that, like what you're saying, it's a mental thing. You know, it's all mindset. Like, I don't feel like I'm special.
Yeah.
In any way. You know, I feel like I'm just a completely regular person. I work hard and again I enjoy being good at what I do, but I don't feel like I'm super special or anything. The main difference between maybe me right now and why I'm seeing success compared to why some others might not yet is just it's that they don't enjoy this as much. Yeah. I think. And I say that because again, like we've been talking about it, when you enjoy this sort of thing, like you can do it. It doesn't feel like work anymore. You can work at it extremely hard, and it's the same thing as doing whatever you enjoy doing. You know, you like playing basketball or swimming, like you'll do that for free, right? As a matter of fact, you'll pay someone to use their basketball court or their pool to go and do those activities. In this case, you have to enjoy it, you have to put the work in, and you can't be lazy about it. Otherwise, nothing's going to happen.
Yeah. I can't count how many times, like, I'm glad that you actually started charging head ticket, by the way. Like, for the longest, Hunter did have the price point of $5K. He just never pitched it to anyone because he was too scared. And I didn't even notice that until, like, when he got down here to Miami. Literally just told him, charge $5K to the next person, and then he charged $5K and collected $5K payment. He was like, what the hell? Yeah. So it made it an 8.5K day. But what do you think in the program itself now, do you think has helped you the most? That's a pretty broad question, but
that is, because there's a lot of things, honestly, that have been extremely helpful. I mean, just the one-on-one calls with you have been extremely helpful. Picking your brain and trying to get as much information out of that as possible. But honestly, I think the setup, like the whole beginning phase of like that setup process of like, fixing up the Instagram bio and the other social media bios and then setting up your offer and like the setting and just the whole setup at the beginning of like, this is how you do everything, like the basics, that I think has been the most helpful, because without that, like I wouldn't be doing this at all. I wouldn't have any success with it.
Yeah, I almost feel like as we get more clientele, like we move with our clients, so like my content also gets a little bit more advanced. But then I also forget like the people that are just starting out, like this stuff makes no sense to them.
Right.
And I always forget that part. But like, what do you like? I guess for you, what's the next step for you? What's the next goal in your mind that you want to hit?
Well, honestly, I mean, the biggest thing in my mind isn't the money. Yeah. Like, obviously the money's nice, right? Being financially free is nice. But for me, like fitness and calisthenics, that freedom right there, that's the most important thing to me. And so kind of the next couple of goals in mind would obviously be, scaling the business, because again, the more money, the more freedom I'm able to have personally, and the more I'm able to provide for eventually a family and myself, of course. But other than scaling my business to the next level, I think that genuinely calisthenics, like growing that community in America with this platform, with the coaching, that's kind of my next big goal in life. So
yeah, I did notice, because you do love calisthenics. Like, there's people that say they love the gym, and like it's pretty easy to tell when they don't love the gym. Like me, I like the gym, but I don't like love the gym. Right. Like for you, I could tell you fucking like love calisthenics, because like you keep talking about like you want to start the community for it. Like you want to seek other people to calisthenics, like all these things. But I could tell you love calisthenics. So even like in the future, I can just see you doing like very high ticket calisthenics coaching, where it's like you fly people out and stuff like that
Right.
kind of coaching. And then you also have the community as well. That would be like your masterminds,
Yeah.
for fitness. And I feel like those could really do well for you in the future. You can be like the next. Doesn't mean you've grown so fast. By the way, for anyone who doesn't know, by now you should know, but like Hunter, when he joined, had 2,000 followers on IG, and now he has 270,000. So, and that happened, well, I guess technically now, like 4 months, in the past 4 months. And again, he started making, with $0 a month all the way up to what he's at now. So it's honestly a crazy come up, and I've never seen growth that fast, even with like my friends like Cruz or like anyone else. I've never seen anyone grow that fast on IG. And it's been like the craziest thing. So like even 20K months is like not good enough. Like you should be doing like, like with the growth speed, like 50K minimum. That's why this month it has to be 50. Otherwise, I'm gonna like call you stupid, and then I'll call you stupid, and I'll call me lazy.
Yeah.
For not pushing you harder. But
I think it's important for people to understand too that at the beginning, when I had 2,000 followers, I still made 10K.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. That first month, and it's the first month, but it was like 2.5 weeks. I consider that the first month.
Yeah.
The first 2.5 weeks, I still made 10K. With 2,000. It might have been up to that point like 4,000 or 5,000 followers.
Yeah.
But it really isn't about the followers. Sure, it helps, right? That's why I post good content,
Yeah.
But I think the main thing is like, if you understand that however many followers you have, whether it's 500 or 500,000, like 500 people is 500 people.
Yeah.
That's 500 people. One of them, 2 of them, 3 of them surely can pay you a couple thousand. Right?
Yeah. And I think a lot of people really overlook the fact, like, if someone, you'd be surprised how many influencers genuinely just don't make money. But a lot of people don't understand that, like, we've had clients with 100 followers or like 200 followers. Like, Josh, 100 followers, made 3.5 in the first, like, 2 days. Eric, with 200 followers, made 8K in a single month. And now he wants to hit 20K. He wants to hit 20K.
Yeah.
He wants to catch up to you, but you'll be at 50. But, like, people overlook the follower count by so much, and they think like that's like the main thing. Like, yes, at the end, volume will always win, because if you run out of people, like, obviously you have no one to sell to. But like with 100 followers, obviously you're gonna grow. Like, you don't just stay stuck at 100 followers for like 6 months. Like, obviously you scale up and you grow in followers. Your business gets better as well. But a lot of people just let that. Oh, I don't have like 100. Like, I have 100 followers, or I have 1,000. Or some people say like, I only have 3,000 followers. Like, I can't make 10K a month.
Mm-hmm.
Or people say like, well, the only reason Hunter's making 20K months is because he has 270,000 followers. But he literally gained 50,000 followers in a single day. Like he made 20K months after the fact that he gained 50,000 followers. So like, I think people like to cope is what we say, and this on sales calls as well. People like to cope and blame everything just so that they feel better about them not doing something. Mm-hmm. But what have you noticed, like, in your life, like, even just friends or just like other even clients in the program, like, what have you noticed with like the whole coping side of things?
Yeah, I mean, I guess what I notice is that you're right. A lot of people do that. A lot of people will try and cope by saying like, oh, this reason or that reason. They just come up with a lot of excuses for why they can't make it or why they can't do it. And those excuses, that is coping, right? Excuses hold you back. I think if you're going to be a fitness coach, you have to understand that these people that are coming to you, they're going to have excuses, and that's what's going to hold them back. If you're going to have excuses for yourself, then why should you be successful if you're going to keep doing that yourself?
Yeah, because I noticed who's spamming me. We need spam right now by Jack. He said let him up, but he has to wait. But yeah, it really comes down, like, we can wrap. I don't know how long this has been going on now. I think it's been like not even that long, but we'll wrap it up pretty shortly here. So like, in terms of, we covered the main reasons why people see success in any sort of entrepreneurship or inside of mentorship as well. It's the person they are, right? Like, who they have to become to get the result. And that's why, like, even in our like sales coaching and high ticket, why we teach so much stop selling your fitness programs. Like, stop selling meal plans and training plans because that's not worth thousands. Like, who has actually paid you like your 5K payment that you just received the other day? Like, did that guy pay you because for meal plans and training plans, or did he pay you thousands because he wanted to like make a change on the inside?
Right. No, I think that he completely understood that the program that is offered to him, again, right, it's not just a meal plan and a training plan. It's a lot more than that, and it's a plan. It's a program. It's coaching. It's going to be able to help him completely change not just his physical appearance, but just who he is in general. You know, becoming that person that he wants to become. So that's why people will pay $5,000 for that kind of thing. You know?
Yeah, and people always say like, I posted a recent video and I got so many hate comments on people being like, 5K, like you're scamming them, bro. The 5K packages, they do know in the comments it's like for a year program, but like 5K for a year, like it's still cheap.
Right.
Like if you divide it up into 12 months, it's literally like it's literally like
somewhere around 300.
Yeah, it's like so cheap every single month. And people are like, oh, it's
right.
They spend more money on like bullshit, you know,
right.
And they think this 5K payment is so crazy. But again, if you pay $300 a month, it's just, I mean, people aren't going to see the results because it's so like $300 mindsets what we talk about. But we'll wrap it up pretty much here. So, in terms of like the program itself, thoughts before joining the program?
After talking to you or before talking to you?
Before talking.
Okay, before talking to you, thoughts. I mean, I just wanted to have direction in my life.
Okay. And then thoughts after joining the program. Like first, let's say like first month then.
This is it. I made it. I found a career and I am going to be successful with it.
Yeah. And then what do you think, like if you can list off as many things as you want here, but what do you think are the most like beneficial things about just like the program itself?
Like I said, the one-on-one coaching, the initial setup of everything from your offer to, you know, to the setting, to the sales, the whole thing. And then I would say that the third thing is probably the community. It's definitely important to have a strong community that, you know, provides support and encouragement, and I think that's what you've built here.
Yeah. And then to wrap it up here, because Jack's at the door, what is one thing that you'd want to tell anyone who is thinking about joining or wanting to start online? Actually, we'll start with anyone who's thinking about joining or anyone who's thinking about starting online fitness coaching.
Just stop making excuses and do it. It's that simple.
Oh yeah. And then how was your time in Miami? Obviously, because you leave today from Utah. But how was your time in Miami? What'd you think about it?
It's been great. I've enjoyed it. It's a lot more fast paced. But I think the mindset of everyone that I've met so far down here is very, you know, business mindset, very, you know, dedicated, and I like that a lot. So I've enjoyed my time.
100%, dude. Again, appreciate you coming out to Miami. Appreciate you taking this interview as well. If anyone wants our help with a one-on-one, we have multiple programs throughout any price range that you would possibly need. Obviously, you know, feel free to go through all my YouTube content. I always say it all the time. If you guys are not watching the free content alone, you guys don't need me yet, right? Only come to me when you actually need my help. So watch all my free content, and when the time is right, feel free to book in a call with me and my team, and we'll see what we can do for you guys. But other than that, if you want to make your first 10K with online fitness coaching, you know who to reach out to. And even DM Hunter if you got questions for him from time to time.
Sir.